In this first video for grade 10 probability, we're going to have a look at the terminology that we're going to use and how to calculate the probability of a specific event. The probability is the chance of something happening in a specific way. That something is called the sample space. The sample space consists of all the possible outcomes or ways in which this can happen. The specific way that you are looking for is called the event. This probability can be given as a percentage. For example, the chance of it raining tomorrow is 40%. The probability can also be given as a common fraction or as a decimal fraction, and this fraction will then always be between 0 and 1. So the example of 40% rain can be given as 40 out of 100, or simplified 2 out of 5, or as a decimal fraction of 0.4. To calculate the probability of a specific event happening, we take the number of outcomes in that event and divide it by the total number of outcomes in the sample space. Let's have a look at some examples. Example 1. There are 3 blue, 5 red, and 4 green sweets in a bag. You randomly take a sweet. Question A. Determine the probability to remove a green sweet from the bag. For probability, we use the symbol P, and we are going to determine the probability to remove a green sweet from the bag. So in our fraction in the numerator, we'll have the number of outcomes for our event of getting a green sweet. There are 4 green sweets, so the numerator will be 4. In the denominator, we have the total number of outcomes, so that will be the total number of sweets in the bag. We have 3 blue, 5 red, and 4 green, so there are 12 possible outcomes. Simplified, this probability is 1 out of 3. Question B. Determine the probability to remove a blue or green sweet from the bag. For this probability of a blue or a green sweet, we now have more possible outcomes for the event. It can be one of the 3 blue or 4 green sweets, so that means there are 7 outcomes for the event out of the total of 12. Example 2. A standard deck consists of 52 cards. One card is drawn at random and then returned to the pack. Question A. Determine the probability to draw a 4 or a card of hearts from the pack. Remember that each deck of cards has 4 suits in it, and in each suit we have 13 cards. So to draw a 4, we can have a 4 of hearts, a 4 of clothes, a 4 of diamonds, or a 4 of spades. So there are 4 different cards with the number 4 on them. But the question says it can also be a card of hearts, and we know that there are 13 different heart cards. Just remember that we already included the 4 of hearts in our bottom list, so that means there are 12 other possible heart cards to be drawn. So for our probability of drawing either a 4 or a heart, we have the 12 possible heart cards and the 4 cards with the number 4 on them out of the total of 52, and that gives us 16 out of 52. Simplified, this is a probability of 4 out of 13. Question B. Suppose the deck is shuffled after the card is returned to the pack and the process is repeated 800 times. Predict how many times you can expect to draw a card of diamonds. We know that the probability of drawing a diamond card is 13 out of the 52 cards. So the probability of removing a diamond every time you draw a card is 1 out of 4. If you repeat this process of drawing a card, putting it back and shuffling 800 times, a quarter of those 800 times you should expect to draw a diamond. That means we can predict that about 200 of those cards drawn will be diamonds. In the next video, we're going to start building on your knowledge of probabilities. If you feel that you need more revision on the basics of probability, you can watch the grade 9 videos.